Okay, I just realized that I really need the daylight for you to be able to see. Normally I would do this at night, but I'm going to go ahead and do this today. And if you do it exactly like I'm doing it, you're going to want to stay home probably. But what I'm doing here is, again, I'm using coconut oil. I've got a small ramekin here. Any little small container would work. And you can use only coconut oil and do this. It'd be just fine. And what I'm going to do is, again, I'm scraping, and the reason I'm doing that is that my jar is fairly low. Actually, I've got some here that's a little bit melted. So I'm going to pour out I'm going to say half of a teaspoon of this oil in here, up to a teaspoon. But you definitely won't need any more. I say definitely. I'm really not sure exactly how much I used, but I know that it was not a whole lot. Alright. And the great thing is I had a little bit extra on the spoon handle, so you can just rub this into your skin, and man, if people shake your hands, they're going to fall in love. I mean, they won't let go. It feels that good. Alright. Now, there are a few things that I've heard about that help stimulate hair growth, and you know, down here they're not going to make any difference. Your hair's growing from the roots of your head, and the big thing I heard about is something called neem oil, N-E-E-M, and this is it. And I'm going to tell you, this is tingles when you put it on. So you feel like this wonderful effect from it. And the coconut oil and the neem oil and some other oils help open up the pores on your scalp. They help unclog the pores on your scalp, which can get clogged from different hair products and different things that we're using. Neem oil, please look it up online. They have some descriptions. The smell of this is repugnant. It's awful. I will tell you that up front. In a teaspoon of coconut oil, only use 1 drop of this. I'll try. Please look it up. They'll have different kinds of explanations. If you have ever smelled the fruit of a ginkgo tree, it smells like that. Some people say burning tires, something about rancid peanut butter. It's really, I would say, the funkiest blue cheese you've ever smelled, along with hickory smell. I mean, it's just, I've never heard or read of anyone loving this smell at all, whereas I've never heard of anyone loving this smell at all. It's something that will make you jump back when you smell it. But this has been used for centuries, and it has all kinds of good qualities, and it's been kind of touted as a cure-all for all kinds of things. And it is antifungal and antibacterial as well. Used on small cuts, bruises, scrapes. It's just infections, all kinds of things. So if you got something going on with your head, with your scalp, this is probably going to cure it. The great news is it can be mixed with other oils. So I would get 3 drops of whatever oil you're using in 1 teaspoon of your coconut oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my bottle and stand back a little bit. It's not that bad, but it's not good, I'm telling you. And I'm going to put 1 drop of this in here. That's it. I'm going to close this bottle, and that will be closed until I do the heavy oiling again. You don't need any other oil but coconut oil. I've got rosemary here. You can use lavender. You can use tea tree oil, like I did on my face. You can use cedar wood, sandalwood, any of the earthy scents. Like I said, I like rosemary, and rosemary is evergreen forest right after a rain. That's what I would say. This is beautiful. Eucalyptus would probably be good too. I'm going to put 2 drops of that in here. 1, 2. Oops, I got 3. I'm not going to panic. I mean, I love the smell. Okay, if you put the scented oil in there, I would not put it on my face because I can kind of, it would make my eyes water, and I just don't want any kind of smell on my face. And with this oil, I'm going to take it, and actually I can use my fingers because I'm going to put it on my fingers anyway, and stir it around, or you can use, again, I use the tail of a spoon. Spoons have tails. I don't know if they're sentient. Okay. And, let's take that and put it on my fingers. And I don't smell the neem in here. And that's going to be good. If I did smell it at all, I wouldn't leave my house, because someone is going to notice the smell. It's not like if you were standing 3 or 4 feet, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a few meters from someone, they would smell this. I'm not going to tone that down. I'm not going to tone down the smell at all verbally, and I'm not going to exaggerate it. It really stinks. So I'm putting drops of this on my fingers, and I'm going to start with the part in my hair. This is a scalp treatment foremost, and I'm going to rub it into my scalp. See, my fingers are just oily, and I'm going to take this and part it and rub it into my scalp again. And I'm doing the front here, and again, this is not something that takes forever. And what I would suggest while you're doing this, this is something to be good to yourself. Before you get started, make your favorite tea. Put on some music that you like. My favorite one to do hair oiling by happens to be, so far, George Winston's Thanksgiving. It's beautiful. I play it for you, but I don't want to infringe on anyone's copyright. Oh gosh, get out some opera. Do some, whatever you would listen to that is just, if it soothes your soul, this is only going to add to it. And I have to tell you that the scent of the rosemary is just amazing. This is the first time I've tried rosemary with the neem. So I like it. I did lavender last time, and for me, I didn't find that it covered the neem scent as much. And you really do. Either leave it out or cover it, or, if you can stand the funk, go ahead and use it. Oh man. Okay. Once I finish this, I've got the top and sides right now. I'm going to part my hair straight down the back and start going up that line. I'll move to one side and then the other, and I'll be back when I'm finished doing that much. And I wanted to show you that every time I make a part in my hair, I take 2 fingers and dip it in here, and then just transfer that to my hair. Alright, I have used less than half of what's in here. I don't know if you can see, just doing the parts in my hair. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to massage that and make sure that there are no, excuse me if I look, like I'm enjoying this, because I am. I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of just, separating my hair in the back, and I'm going to go ahead and take this and drip it into my hand. I'm going to drip just dime size amount and rub it onto my hands. They're pretty saturated, and I'm going to go ahead and put this through the rest of my hair, separating it here and there to make sure that I'm not just putting it on top. And it's real tempting, just do this, and it's needed all over. And I'll just keep going. That's one side. You can see my hand's still oily. This is the heavy oiling. This is not what I do daily. I'm doing this in preparation for the next time that I wash my hair. And again, I would not probably go out like this, but I could. I'm just, I don't care that much, what others think. This is about being good to me. So, okay, I felt a little dry. Don't do that. Just, you know, slide on your hair. Doing this will make a mat on your hair. And there's one more time. So again, I just started with a teaspoon of this. And I'm going to make sure I get it really saturated. And I want enough on that my hair will look wet with it. And I'm going to make sure I can get all this out of here. Again, the main thing is your scalp. And I've just really got a lot. And one of the good things to do for stimulating your scalp is a head massage. And your heart's down here, and it's pushing blood up, so it's going to help work it on up. Start at the back of the head, and just pretend you're just working it, working the blood and oxygen, all the nutrients up into your hair. You can spend 30 minutes doing this if you want to. You can do it longer, but I don't know. That's your thing. I don't judge these things. I can put even more oil on my hair, and just to show you, I mean, this is probably enough for me. I'll get just a little bit out of here. I don't see the mirror very, very well. I've got the camera right in front of it. So maybe you can see it's really, really wet with oil. I have to tell you that normal hair loss is between, I've read it's between 10 and 20 hairs a day. I have been counting them out of my brush, and yesterday I lost 15 hairs. The day before I lost 8. So this is making quite a big difference. Now, once I've got my hair thoroughly saturated, you can take a comb and go through it again and make sure. Excuse me, I've lost my comb. Make sure that all of the hair is, again, if you get a tangle, go below it. But I have to tell you, the oil makes it fall right out. And before, if I had seen someone's hair that looked like this, I would have cringed. But now I get it. Man, this is good stuff. This is better than turkey and stuffing and pie. So, also they say that coconut oil, just by itself, don't eat the essential oil, that a teaspoon of coconut oil a day, or twice a day even, can help with weight loss, and it helps with cholesterol because it's a very good oil for your body. Okay, I've got this pulled up basically into a top knot, and I'm going to twist, and it feels so good just to have your fingers just slide down, and pile this up on top of my head, and anyway, I've just put it up there. It'll kind of hold by itself. I'm trying to get rid of all metal objects. This is a plastic little clip. You can put a fabric covered elastic over the top to hold it, but the ones with the little brass or metal clip on them, that can grab your hair and pull it. The next thing I'm going to do is too sexy for words, so you may want to put your sunglasses on or whatever, but you can wrap your head in a towel. You can wrap it in a take your towel and dip it in very warm water, wring it out and wrap your head in it. But all I'm going to do is use the heat from my head, and this is my do-rag. it looks a little Amish when I first put it on. I like that part. And they just wrap it in the back, twist, come to the front, wrap, and see, it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to leave this for an hour. Today, what I've been doing is going to bed like this and sleeping on it. This is going to hold in the heat from my head and help open up the cells on the hair shaft and help them absorb more of the coconut oil than they do normally. So I'm going to leave this sit probably about an hour today because I don't want to run out of sunlight. And then I'll go wash and I'll come back. Bye. Okay, here's what I do in final preparation before I wash my hair. I'm going to take this down and always, whether I have, ever oiled my hair or not, always for the past several years, I found out one way to lose less hair is to always comb my hair before I shower. And what's happening is, if there are any loose hairs, I am getting them out of my hair before I get in the shower. And I ran into a tangle, and easing up on it, a little higher, and it's gone. The reason I want to get rid of those loose hairs before I get in the shower is that if, and I have a few here, 1, 2, 3, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. The reason is, if these hairs get in my hair sideways, they will tangle with each other. They'll tangle with this hair. And when I'm going to comb my hair later when it's wet, the hair stretches more and it's more likely to snap when it's wet. I don't want these in there causing me extra problems. This is going to make it very much more easy to comb my hair later. I'm going to go shower and I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, I've just shampooed my hair, and I do the shampoo, rinse, repeat, just like it says on every bottle. And then before I get out of the shower, I use a conditioner. I'm using a Garnier Fructis Lengthened Strength right now. And before I get out, I just take all the hair to one side and squeeze going down. I don't twist it or anything like that. And when I'm shampooing, I don't pile it on top of my head. I do as much as I can to keep it in the hanging down shape as possible so that those hairs don't go up and get tangled. When I get out of the shower, I don't flip my head over and do the turban towel. Again, I'm just giving the hair more of an opportunity. Flipped to tangled up and get in odd directions, it's going to be harder to comb. So I leave it hanging down like this. And here's how I wrap it in a towel. Again, put your sunglasses on if this is too sexy for you. I just put it over the top of my head and tuck it underneath the back, and I leave the back hanging. To help absorb some of the water, I just press on it. And I might do that a few times while I'm doing other things, brushing my teeth, whatever, putting something on. And then I take the towel off and I put in a leave-in conditioner. Normally it's Garnier Fructis, and it's been wonderful. I just got a new one that is a generic from Sally's Beauty Supply, and it says compared to Paul Mitchell the conditioner. And I take my hair and gently separate it and rub about a dime up to a nickel size in my hands. And again, just going from here down, I massage it into my hair, stroke it into my hair, and whatever's left, I'll put it, up on this part of my hair. And that's where I'm at right now. Okay, when the hair is wet and it's just been washed and conditioned, this is the most a critical time as far as avoiding breakage. So this is the time to be the gentlest. If you can think of, if you had a very fine silk blouse, how you would treat it, there's no way you would just, rip at the fabric trying to get it clean. You'd be gentle. You'd do things like squeezing. You wouldn't wring it. So anyway, I'm going to try to be that gentle with my hair. I've already parted it in the back. I've got it hanging on both sides. If I start from up here, I've got some hair, going this way and some going this way, and I will push it into a tangle. So what I'm going to do with my fingers, you may need to do more sections. I only need 2 on each side. I'm going to gently separate this into 2 sections, and just gently let it happen. And back here, again, starting at the ends, being very gentle. And you can go slowly. Usually if I'm in more of a hurry, the more likely I am to hurt my hair. And just bring it all the way up to the top. And there I have a tangle. It's right up here, right here. So I'm going to remove my comb, come back down here, and go until I got a little bit of it out and a little bit more, a little bit more. Now let's see if it's still. And it's gone. And I didn't pull my hair. Sometimes I think about it like as if I were combing a child's hair. And very often, not just in hair but in life, I have been much more rough with myself, even just mean sometimes, than I would be to another human being. And I think these things like this are acts of love. Again, I've got a tangle. I'm going to come down below it. If this were a child and I tried just pulling through there, you'd hurt them. You'd have them crying. And even if you're an adult and you don't cry, I mean, it's hurting. It's hurting you. And I think the more acts of gentleness that I can do in a day, the more I will feel healthy at the end of the day. Not just physically, but overall. Okay? And I comb this whole side together now. Again, gently. And one thing that helps me is to angle my comb like this. If I'm doing this, it's more likely that I'm going to yank. Hold the comb loosely, and I just can't hardly I can't hardly make myself yank it through something. Again, I'm going to come over here and just gently, just gently ease this apart and start back here. And I want to slow this down to show you how gentle. Here's a tangle. And see, your hair is going to grow from up here. I mean, you just can't hardly stop that. It's going to happen. The big thing as far as getting length is taking care of this right here. Just the last little bit. And the gentler I can be with this, the less it's going to break, the less it's going to split, and the longer the whole hair can grow. If it keeps growing from up here, if you color your hair and you're having to dye it every 6 weeks or a couple of months or whatever, and it's not getting longer down here, what's happening is you're breaking this off. So each time it gets brushed, each time it gets blow dried, curled, it's you break another hair, another one, and another one, and before you know it, I mean, your roots have grown out 3 inches, and your hair's not any longer on the bottom. So that's what's going on. And I don't know if you need to watch me do this whole thing. And I'll tell you, if I don't have time to do this, I don't wash my hair. Because it takes time. And we think, well, gosh, I've got to, shop, I've got to cook dinner, I've got laundry to do, and all those things we take a lot of care in. And, you got to sing to the children at night, you got to read them stories. All that stuff we do, and we're so careful about, yet not careful with our own bodies. And I can't make that make sense, but I've been guilty of it too. I like my part just a little more to the left. And here's a good opportunity to tangle. Ease it apart. So where it's sticking up there, I want to come up on that gently. Alright, what I do, once I get that finished, I don't want to do more combing than I have to while it's wet. So I'm just making sure I don't have any tangles, and I'm going to let my hair rest between 20 minutes and an hour to let it partially dry on its own. Okay, I've just dried my hair. I waited probably about 30 minutes, and then I dried it, and this is what it looks like immediately after washing. And I'm going to put a picture in here of what it used to look like immediately after washing and drying. Alright, when I use a blow dryer, I'm going to scoot way back. I hold it at arm's length, you know, straight elbow almost, and blow it at my hair. The instant I feel my hair getting warm, I move the hair dryer away. And as soon as I feel it's almost dry now, if I feel that it's almost dry, I just stop on that area. Evaporation will do the rest of it in just a minute or so. Because it's seconds between almost dry and a puff of smoke. So you don't want to do that. Just, you know, be very, very gentle. I'm going to, I've plugged my curling iron in. Here's what it, you know, you can see it's kind of fuzzy. Much less than it used to be. I plug my curling iron in, and it has several settings. I set it on the highest setting, and I do it for a very short period of time. And I'm going to go ahead and show you just with my hands what I do. Again, my hair's damp. I used a comb in there. The worst thing I've ever done is to use one of those round brushes underneath and hold the dryer on it to try to straighten it. You got heat this far from your hair, and it's breaking every time. It's just I quit that 3 or 4 years ago. And it would not grow before then, and I used to use a clarifying shampoo every time. Used to wash it daily, and it never got past my shoulders. It was always breaking off anyway. So that's some of the things I've done to keep it from breaking as much. I use a comb. You know, I just will use it. You know, I'm blowing here, and I will use it to lift, and I'll, you know, do some there. But I don't do a whole lot more than that. See, I was very gentle just doing that. When I use a curling iron, I will again gently separate it in the back, and like before, I'll take, you know, maybe a third or fourth of it, and I will take my curling iron, very hot setting, and I have more frizz under here, so I go 1, 2, 3, about that fast, then slide it down to the end and roll it up, and I will count 5 seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, and let it go. And if that's not enough, that's my only shot at it this time. You know, I'm not going to go back over that. That hair's already been heated, and I don't want to do any more to dry it out more. So then I'll go on to the next section, and I'll just repeat this all the way around. Usually I'll take the top section, coming about at the arch of my eyebrows and a few inches up, and I will take that. This is the part that gets damaged the most, so I get it out of my way. I don't want to end up curling that 2, 3, 4 times in the other parts. So I'll take it. Okay, it's getting dark. Here I am with my curls I did. I have a large, I think it's maybe a 1.5 or 2 inch curling iron, and anytime I put anything hot on my hair, I'm going to let it rest just to cool off. It doesn't take a minute. I just did what I would naturally do in there, and I noticed that these front parts here, I'm more gentle with them, and they tend to heat up more because there's less hair there. So I won't wait the full 5 seconds, maybe 3, and let them go. And if you wait to let your hair cool down, it'll retain the smoothness or curl more, and basically what I'm looking for is smoothness. I'm going to let it cool off. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm all cooled down. I wanted to tell you, I just realized what's behind me. If you see a skeleton back there, it's because that guy didn't use coconut oil. So I wanted you to know that. Okay, I'm not going to comb my hair right now because it'll get easier in a minute. I've, again, made a gentle part in the back and brought it all to the front. And I'm going to start my routine over. And this is like I did in the beginning. I've got a tiny bit. I put more on here so you could see it, of coconut oil just on a few fingers. And I'm going to rub them together. And again, starting at the back, 1 inch part. And I'm coming underneath. And I'm going to go around. I'm going to go more quickly this time because you've seen me do it before. And I'm just doing it quickly for the video. It's very enjoyable. Take your time. It's kind of like, sex. People want to get that over with. You'd think they don't like it or something. Yeah, she just said that, didn't she? Okay. And another part. The total, when I do this part, 1/16 of a teaspoon maybe. And I'll split that. And I'm going to come under here. And we go back again. This is my worst part, right under behind my ears. Just a little more. And I just, by touch, not by look, but by touch. If it doesn't feel soft, if you feel something like straw, that's where a little bit more goes. Again, each time I'm just wetting my fingers with it and stroking it through to the bottom again. I'm going to come back and just using what's left here on the ends and make sure that I got them. These are my silk. These are my treasures. Okay, they just if it grows from up here and you break this off, it's not going to make any difference in length. So that's what I'm being gentle with. Alright. Now, when I comb my hair, it's going to be much easier. I'm going to take what's left on my fingers. I can tap a little bit or whatever and put it up here. I can run it through my hair. And I can comb this. I might not normally, but let's see. I keep losing my comb. Again, I'm just going to do sections. Start at the end. And this is a tiny tangle. But that's a hair I don't want to lose. And yeah, I count the hairs. I don't... They're all... Okay, so I don't want to, break any of them. They're important. And, you say, well, it's not a big deal, but you do that for a year. Break 3 or 4 of them every time you comb your hair, and it's going to make a big difference. Alright, separate this, and start down here. And again, you can go slower than I am. Play some nice music. Have someone do this for you, or, do it with someone else. It's very, can be a very romantic thing to do, very sensual. Or, go get your mom. She probably deserves a little bit of tenderness. Do her hair. And there's nothing in here that's going to damage your hair as far as the coconut oil. Absolutely nothing. And that ought to do it for me today. And it's evening time now, so that's my evening oiling. And when I go to bed, I will kind of do the high ponytail like before loosely, and I'll put it up on my head, and I'll clip it, something plastic hopefully, and I'll sleep in it like that. And in the morning when I wake up, I usually have a little more curl from doing it that way. So tomorrow morning, light oil like I just now did, and tomorrow evening, light oil again, and I'll do that again the next day. The third day from now, I'll do the heavy oiling again. And I will hopefully post a video or a picture of what it looks like in, a month or so. But it will get smoother. Usually the second day after I wash it, it looks the best. So, thank you, and I hope this helps someone. Bye. Okay, I wanted to tell you too that I've measured my hair. I parted down the center, and I took a measuring tape and measured the length in the front, and it's right now 23 inches. And I'll measure again at a month and let you know if it's gotten longer. Thanks.